Hello, friends. Welcome. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear where you're watching from today. I am in sunny Las Vegas, and it's going to go up to maybe 65 degrees today, so it's a good Friday. Yeah, let us know how the weather is where you are too. I would love to see where you're watching from. Today, I'm going to teach you a recipe that is a favorite in cafes everywhere. It's got lots of anti-inflammatory ingredients. It's caffeine-free, and it's super delicious. It's called a Golden Milk Latte. It's so good. If you've never heard of it before, you're in for a real treat, so I hope you'll stick with us for this full video. Let me first introduce myself, though. My name is Stefanie of Green Sage, and I am a whole food plant-based chef and cooking instructor. I share my recipes on Instagram and YouTube at Green Sage Life, so if you're inclined to find me there, I would love to connect with you. But I'm also a really big fan of amla green tea, and I recommend it to all the clients I mentor and to my family and friends, everyone I care about, because it's so good for you. And I am really excited to share a recipe with you that uses the amla green pumpkin spice. So let me see who we've got watching today. Nancy from Wake Forest, North Carolina. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So excited to have you. Let us know in the comments too. What's your favorite type of latte? If you've never tried a golden milk latte, but you order one in a cafe, let us know what that is. I would like to hear that too. Welcome, Linda from Pennsylvania. Great. That's my home state too, even though I live in Las Vegas now. It's nice to have you here. Thanks for being here today. Okay, so you're gonna really love this recipe. I'll review the ingredients and in just a moment here. But first, I would like to let you know that we're going to offer you a free gift. If you would like to receive a guide of recipes that use the amla green coffee, since today's theme is hot, cozy beverages, if you write the word coffee in the comments during the video, then our friends at Amla Green will send you a coffee guide. And the recipe doesn't just have coffee drinks, but also other recipes using the Amla Green coffee. And so you're going to really want to get that guide. And I'll mention it again at the end too. Welcome, Pam from Minnesota. MN, is that the right abbreviation? And Elizabeth from Malvern, Pennsylvania, not far from where I grew up, and you like the soy lattes. Oh, that's so good. I love that too. Great. So we're going to do the golden milk latte. In this recipe, I'm going to show you how to make it with fresh turmeric and fresh ginger. Now, I have to admit, it's not always easy to find fresh turmeric in your local grocery store. I have to go to Whole Foods for this. If you don't have a grocery store like that, you might also check local Asian or Indian grocery markets, which is another great place to find this. Fresh turmeric looks like ginger, fresh ginger root, but you can tell it has a little bit of like orange undertones to it. So that's what you're looking for if you're going to try to find this in the grocery store. And of course, you probably already know what fresh ginger looks like. Very similar, kind of bulbous root with a little bit of bark on it. And the undertones under the bark are yellow, so that's the ginger. Now, if you can't find the fresh ginger or the fresh turmeric, you can just use ground spices, fresh ground turmeric and ground ginger. And I'll get into the quantities in just a moment. But also in this recipe, we're going to have amla green pumpkin spice. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, it's not fall anymore. Pumpkin spice is a little bit passé until next September. But I want to encourage you to keep an open mind about the amla green pumpkin spice. It's actually really versatile and delicious year-round because pumpkin spice blend is just got cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and ginger. And that combination of spices can be found not only in apple pie or chai teas, but also in spice blends from global cuisines around the world. Things like Berberi spice from Ethiopia, or Ras El Hanout from North Africa, or garam masala from Indian cuisine. So you can be thinking about working amla green pumpkin spice into your savory recipes as well. Today, however, we're going to focus on this golden milk latte, and you're going to love it, so I'm really excited to share it with you. The other ingredients: cinnamon, a little bit of vanilla extract. We're going to get some black pepper in there, and I'll explain why in just a moment, and some plain unsweetened almond milk. And if you want to, you'll have an option to add just a little bit of maple syrup to sweeten it. I would recommend going easy on that. Maybe just a tiny bit of sweetness will go a long way for this. And our producer, Bess, has just dropped in the comments the exact quantities for this recipe, so you can check it out there. Now let's make it together. I'm going to show you how easy this is. I'm going to use a glass jar to blend it together so that you can see what I'm doing. But when you make it, you could actually just do all of this directly in your mug. The equipment I'm going to use is the microplane for grating the fresh ginger and the fresh turmeric. But if you're using the ground spices, obviously you don't need this. And then I'm going to use one other bit of special equipment, my milk frother. It's just a little battery-powered tool, and when you turn it on, it spins and whisks your drink. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can actually pick one up on Amazon. They're not very expensive, but if you don't want to buy an extra tool, you can really just use a whisk, or if you have one of those little small single-serving size blenders like NutriBullet, for example, that would be another way to blend this up really quickly. All right, let's just jump in and do this. Okay, I've got my microplane, and I'm going to grate my fresh ginger. And I've got a piece here where I've used a paring knife to peel away some of the bark. So I'm just gonna grate it right here on my microplane. And a lot of the fresh ginger actually sticks to the microplane, so we'll just kind of knock that off into the glass jar in just a moment. Ginger, as you probably know, is really good for you because it is really anti-inflammatory. And it's really good for digestion, so it's really, really nice. You can see it's just kind of sitting here sticking to the back of my microplane, and some of it did fall onto my work surface. We're only going to need 1/2 teaspoon of fresh ginger here, and I'm going to put that directly into the jar right now. Just kind of knock that in with my paring knife. Just like that. Yeah, ginger's got a ton of antioxidants. It's really good for the body. Anything that we can do to reduce inflammation in the body, I'm just going to get all of this in here, is good, because chronic inflammation, as you probably know, can lead to chronic disease. So the less inflammation in your body, the healthier you are. It's really a worthy endeavor. Okay, now I'm going to show you this fresh ginger root again. And I'll actually show you how I peel away the bark here. I just use a paring knife. Let's see, is the bark edible? Daniel wants to know, is the bark edible and offer increased fiber? It may, however, it will also kind of lend a more fibrous texture to the drink. So it's up to you. If you want to leave the bark on, definitely wash it before you grate it into your drink. But for a drink like this, I might just peel the bark away to give it a smoother texture when you're drinking. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I peel this away. First, I will just chop away the end here on my cutting board. So you can see how pretty the orange turmeric is. And then just like you would peel the skins off an apple maybe, I'm just going to run the blade of the knife underneath the bark toward my thumb, very gently here. And I'm just going to peel enough away. Turmeric is actually softer in consistency than ginger, so it's going to be easier to grate on the microplane. Just going to keep that bark out of the way here. So you can see now that I've peeled away. Not very thoroughly yet here. One more bit. There you go. You can see I've peeled away the bark, and that's just going to make it a little easier to grate and make the texture of the drink a little smoother. So here I go. Now, if you just got engaged to be married and tomorrow you've got engagement photo session where you want your hands to look beautiful, don't grate turmeric, fresh turmeric, because it can stain your hands a little bit. So the color is very potent here, and that's another indication actually that it's got a ton of antioxidants in it. So you'll see, you might be able to see my hands are a little bit orange already. But I have the fresh turmeric grated here, and I'm going to knock this into the glass jar as well. And again, if you're just joining us, the reason I'm using a glass jar is because it's transparent, and I want you to be able to see what's going on here. But for simplicity's sake, when you're making this for yourself, you can just, do it right in your mug, single serving. This is a single serving recipe, so all of the ingredient quantities will make one Golden Milk Latte. I'm just going to rinse off my hands here so that the turmeric doesn't stain too badly. Okay, next up, our amla green pumpkin spice, which in addition to the amla, which is so good for blood glucose control, lowering cholesterol, lowering blood pressure, it also has these amazing spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, cloves, and ginger. So it's a complementary flavor profile to our Golden Milk Latte. And also, all of those spices have tons of antioxidants too. So 1 scoop of the amla green pumpkin spice. Smells really good, really good. Like I said before, it's really good year round, so you don't have to just save this for fall. And then we've got, what's next? Our black pepper. Why black pepper, you might ask, if you don't already know. There's a compound in black pepper that makes the most beneficial part of the turmeric, which is a compound called curcumin, more bioavailable. It means your body can absorb it more and reap the benefits of the turmeric when you also have a little bit of black pepper in your bloodstream too. So it's always important anytime you use turmeric to add a little bit of black pepper. This is something that has been shown by science, but it's kind of amazing that like so many global cuisines that often use turmeric also always put black pepper in their dishes at the same time. So there's this like generational wisdom going on here too. All right, so just a 1/4 teaspoon of the black pepper. You're gonna put a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. It's gonna add a little bit more flavor. Again, super big on the antioxidants here with the cinnamon, blood glucose control as well. And let's see, those are all the dry ingredients. I will add just a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Get that in there right now. You could cut this in half if you want to, or skip it entirely. If you avoid alcohol, there's usually alcohol-free vanilla extract you can find in the baking aisle of your grocery store, so you can look for that. And then that's the extent of the flavoring. Let's see, we've got another question from Daniel. Is it possible to make golden milk chai replacing coffee with a caffeine-free tea? So actually, there's no coffee in this particular version of my golden milk latte. It's just the spices and the ginger and turmeric and some almond milk. You could put coffee in it if you'd like to, but this is a purely caffeine-free recipe as it's written. So if you're looking to avoid the caffeine, you can absolutely follow this recipe just like I'm teaching it today. And check the comments if you want to see that all written out. You can maybe take a screenshot or jot it down in a notebook for future reference. And of course, you're always able to find all of our Amla Green live videos on the Amla Green Facebook page after, so you can watch it again, see the replay. You're welcome, Daniel. So great you're here. Thank you for your great questions. Okay, so I have some almond milk that I already heated up in advance, and actually fun, handy thing to have at home, I think, especially if you're a tea drinker like I am or a coffee drinker. I have this really cool little electric mug warmer. So when I'm sipping my tea, I set the mug on the mug warmer and it stays really warm. And so that'll be a nice way to enjoy this. I'm not trying to sell this, not sponsored or anything, but it's something that's enhanced my life, so I thought I would share it. But I also have my warm almond milk sitting on it right now for this demonstration. So I'm gonna pour about a cup of the plain, unsweetened almond milk into my jar here. And I will add just a splash, the tiniest teaspoon of pure maple syrup. Always check the ingredients when you're buying your maple syrup. Some brands do have flavorings, corn syrup, caramel color in there. So just a pure maple syrup. And I'm just gonna double check those are all the ingredients. Yes, that's it. Okay, so you'll see how easy this is. Now I'm gonna take my frother, but again, you don't need a frother. You could use a little blender or a whisk or a spoon and just some elbow grease to froth this all up. So let's do that now. Just like this. Nadia wants to know, will this taste just as good with soy milk instead? Absolutely. If you prefer oat milk or soy milk or any plant-based milk will be fine. Yeah. Really great question. Thank you for asking. And that's it. What's nice about the frother is it also gives you a little bit of foamy texture on top. So I'm going to show you if you can see it. Maybe I'll lift it up. Let me see if I can lift up the camera here. Hopefully I won't make you too seasick. But there you go. You can see the beautiful golden color of this golden milk latte. I'm going to pour it into my mug right now. And I'm going to take a sip. It smells so good. And it is so delicious. So, so good. So that's how easy it is. That's how wonderful it is. The combination of spices, the cinnamon and cloves and ginger, are not only great for your health, but they also have like warming properties. So in the wintertime, this is such a nice treat, whether it's morning time or afternoon with a snack, to make for yourself on a winter day. It's just really, really wonderful. So do I have any other questions, friends? Let's see. Oh, Gina says hi. Hi, Gina. It's nice to have you here. Thank you for being here. If not, then I would just reiterate that if you write the word coffee in the comments, you will receive a free guide, a collection of recipes that use the amla green coffee. Even though we have not used coffee in this recipe today, it is in the same theme of, hot beverages for winter time. And also the guide will include some really great additional recipes like granola, for example, that you can use these products into. So Nadia asked, is it okay to use ground ginger and turmeric? Yes. So I mentioned at the beginning that if you can't find the fresh ginger and turmeric, you can absolutely use your ground spices instead. And in that case, you could just cut the quantities in half. So we did a half teaspoon each for the fresh ginger and turmeric. So just do a quarter teaspoon, but you know what? You don't have to be super exact because these ingredients are so good for you, and it doesn't matter if you get a little extra in. It's just all good. It's all more flavor and more antioxidants. Let's see. Great. Elizabeth, Pam, Cindy, I'll say coffee. That's great. I'm so glad you're going to get the guide. Paula is in Missouri saying it's snowing out and she wants the coffee guide too. Yay, I'm so glad. Nancy, I keep my fresh ginger and turmeric in the freezer. Do you know how long it might last? That's a great idea. It's true. It's not always easy to use it all up by the time it might otherwise perish. But in the freezer, in an airtight, like a freezer bag, I feel like you could go a couple months and that would still be okay. Yeah. You might even, if you want to, for convenience sake or for batch prepping sake, peel it, grate it, and then put it in the fridge or the freezer that way. So it's even closer to ready to go. You could probably use it directly out of the freezer that way rather than having to wait for it to thaw and then grate it. So another quick tip for, batch preparing. Julia wants to know, can I use regular amla instead of the pumpkin spice, I'm guessing? Yes, absolutely. The pumpkin spice does give more of the warming spice flavor profile to it because it also has some cinnamon and ginger in there, and I think some cloves too. But if you don't use the pumpkin spice amla green and you want to use the regular original flavor, then yeah, just put a little bit more cinnamon, maybe a pinch if you have it of cloves in there too, maybe some nutmeg. That would be really delicious. Wonderful. Great questions. Thank you so much, friends, for being here, for watching. Don't forget to get the guide. Share this video. You know what? That's a really great option. If you want to remember this video for later, and it's not always easy to find things again on Facebook, if you share it to your Facebook page, then you'll definitely be able to find it later, but you'll also be sharing it with other friends who might also be interested in this recipe. And of course, that helps us get the word out too, so we would really appreciate that. And then that's all. I think those are all of my questions. Those are all the questions that we have from our audience here today. I'll just wrap this up. It's been such a pleasure seeing you here again today. It's always fun to share these recipes. Check out the Amla Green Facebook page for more of these recipes because, like I said, they're always up there after in the replay. And I'll just look forward to then seeing you again in a couple of weeks, friends. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.